So I thought I'd come up with a little list of some cheaper mods you can do to your 4runner, just because not everybody's got thousands of dollars to spend on fancy suspension and wheels and stuff. So today I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do for right at like $100 or less. So to start with, one of the most common questions I get asked is about the black badges on my 4runner. And guys, it's not, I don't have some kind of a secret source for OEM black badges or anything. The previous owner just plasti dipped these. And honestly, he didn't really do that good of a job either, but they're just plasti dipped. You can get a can of that for, I don't know what it costs nowadays, 15 bucks maybe. Same with these, but you can see there's a little light on the edges. He was a little too thin on his coats. So, to be honest, guys, I'm kind of leaning towards going back to the chrome badges anyways. So I might just scrape that stuff off. But if I do end up deciding to kind of respray them, I'll make sure I do a video on that. Okay, the next thing you can do to your 4runner for real cheap is upgrading your interior lights to LED. Get these map lights here. I also did the dome lights. This one back there. It's also, if you buy one of these kits, then it usually comes with all 4 doors as well, and then both dome lights, the map lights. Super easy to switch out. You can usually get them on Amazon for like a complete kit. Is really cheap. I think like maybe 20 bucks or something. You can swap them out in about 10 minutes if you got some handy slot screwdriver skills. And I mean, if you don't, well, we're gonna have to work on that then, aren't we? But again, another super cheap, super easy mod that you can do. It just kind of updates the look and feel inside here. I think a lot of people will figure that LEDs make everything brighter, but I'm not convinced. I think it more just changes the color of everything and just makes it feel like more of a modern vehicle. That's at least the main draw for me. Speaking of LED lighting, guys, boom. LED headlight bulbs. Another great option, especially for if you've got a 5th gen 4runner, that's an easy one. But these newer facelifted 4th gens, they've got the projector headlights right from the factory. So you don't have to worry about blinding people. These are just cheaper. I think these are usually about 60 bucks or so. You can find them on Amazon or eBay. I like to use the ones that don't have fans. It's just kind of personal preference. I've had really good luck with them as far as longevity goes. Try to get as close to like a whitish light as possible. Blue stuff might look cool, but as far as light output goes, they're junk. Those are just the factory fog lights too. Nothing special there. But that's another way to update the look of your 4runner from the outside. Again, just like the interior, not necessarily convinced that they're brighter. It's just a different color temperature that makes it feel a little bit more modern. One little bonus, if you're going to update the look of the LEDs on the front of your 4runner, make sure you grab a couple bulbs for the license plate lights too. These are really cheap. Again, a couple screws to replace them, no big deal. And at nighttime, it really makes an older 4runner like this look a lot more current. While we're back here, guys, there's another good one. A Dring Shackle for your trailer hitch. If you do any kind of off-roading or any kind of winter driving, you're going to want to have one of these, and then some kind of a tow strap as well. You come across somebody that's stuck in a snowbank, or if you're wheeling and you're stuck in the mud or something, or hung up on a rock, that's a great recovery point. That's super strong. I mean, if you think about it, these 4runners are rated to tow, especially the V8 ones, like over 7,000 pounds, and it's off of that hitch. So I mean, that's got to be probably one of the toughest points of this vehicle. Yeah, there are hooks from the factory on here. There's a couple up front, and if you have to, if you're in a pinch, you could pull off of those, but I wouldn't pull very hard because they're known for snapping off. Those aren't really meant to be hardcore recovery points. So getting yourself a good strap and one of these shackles that plugs into your trailer hitch. Moving right along, another great mod that you can do is a leveling kit up front. Now, mine is obviously a kind of a special case here. I do have Fox coilovers up front. Even those, they're just the basic cheap ones. That's the entry-level 2.0s from Fox, so even those aren't anything special. But you can just get a really basic spacer lift for the front end, and that'll get rid of the factory rake. The rear end normally sits higher on these than the front. And so cranking up the front end just like either an inch or two, not only does it help with the look, it definitely gets rid of the soccer mom look that these things have from the factory, but it allows you to run a much bigger tire up front without any clearance problems. Those maybe are a little bit over $100 depending on the brand and the height you get. but it's worth the extra few pennies. And considering the difference that it makes to your vehicle, I would say definitely a worthy investment to be on the higher end of this list. Next up, well, you guys already knew this was coming. Light bars. Who doesn't love light bars, right? Thanks to China, you can get these pretty cheap now. The one that I have up on the roof here, that one was more expensive. I think that one was around $200 or so. And it's definitely better quality than the one that I have in the bumper here. But you can get one like this that I have in the bumper for, I think this one was probably like 50 or 60 bucks. And no, of course they're not as good as Rigid or Baja designs. They're definitely not as bright. They definitely won't last as long. But depending on where you live, you don't have to worry about these things getting stolen. If they do, you're out 50 bucks. And they do the trick. Even if they're not perfect and they're not as good as the expensive ones, when it comes down to it, it's still an extra light on the front of your rig. So that's never a bad thing if you're spending a lot of time out in the rural areas. Alright guys, the last one on the list is actually my favorite. This is an idea that I stole from the Land Cruiser guys over on, I think it was the I Hate Mud forums. And if you use your 4Runner for any kind of camping or if you work out of it, anything that you do in the back, loading up mountain bikes, gearing your trailer hitch, hooking up trailers, anything like that, you can always use more light back here at the back of the vehicle. And the thing is, yeah, we do have a dome light back here, and it's better than nothing, and it does light up like the actual trunk area itself. But I decided to take it a step further, and I've put lights inside the hatch here. These are, I think they're from a company called Osmium. They're actually marine lights. They're meant to be weatherproof and everything. And they're just a basic single LED, but they're super bright. And I don't know if you can see, I just kind of siliconed these in, cut holes in the panel, cut holes and then held them in with silicone. And I ran the wiring, of course, through the hatch, and then through the grommet, and then I tied it into the power for my light bars up front. And then right here, that's my switch. Just LED work lights, and pop it on, and check these out. Guys, it's 2 in the afternoon right now, and those are actually putting light out that it's making a noticeable difference out here in the daylight. So at nighttime, these suckers are bright. I'm really happy with this setup. These are definitely not cheap for LED lights. These are, I think they're about 40 bucks each. But I think they're definitely a worthwhile mod. You spend any time back here, you're going to want more light, and it makes life a lot easier. Alright guys, there you have it. That's my little list of cheap mods under 100 bucks for your 4Runner. If you have any other ideas, make sure you head down into the comments and share them with everybody else. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good one.